We're back again with Formula One, and today we're going to be discussing the chaos and malaise, so to speak, at Ferrari. And to do that is Mr. Johnny Mustafa, Kule Williams, and myself. Welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you. Let's get straight to the main story, which is Hamilton. So we all know Hamilton after the race, after qualifying when he did poorly. I think he came in Q12. He went on in Q2 and started off in P12. They asked him if it's the car, and of course he said, "I'll try my best fake British accent. It's me every time. I'm just useless. Team has no problem. Second car is on pole, so they probably need to change driver." Okay, and but that's usual Lewis Hamilton. Last year when he was losing, he'll say something once in a while. He'll hint that the team is doing something bad, or he'll say something bad. I don't think he was being sarcastic or trying to be sarcastic. I think he was looking for sympathy and also feeling down. We all know Lewis Hamilton is a little bit of a emotional. He's sort of like
Drama
Lando Norris.
queen.
I want to know Lando Norris is a drama queen. Lewis Hamilton is more. He's more introverted about it. He'll sulk a little bit, but he's a good kid. But sometimes he gets down on himself. I don't think he's recovered from losing to Verstappen and when they cheated him. That was a big blow. Can you imagine
Yeah,
coming back
man.
from
You, me,
eight
myself, I haven't
champions?
gotten over it.
Yeah, so he hasn't gotten over that. That really hurt him badly. But then again, someone said Lewis Hamilton. They asked him, so what made you say that they need to change the driver? Why did you say that? And he said, oh, nothing in particular. But when you have a feeling, you have a feeling. There's a lot going on in the background that's not great. So he said it before about, I wish I could talk about the background. And this could be once again, because Hamilton did this type of stuff at Mercedes, where he said, there's some things going on, some strange things. So, but we don't know whether we should take him seriously or not. I'm scared. I know I'm neutral. I don't know what he's talking about, but he said this before, and it makes me wonder what's going on in Ferrari because number one, early in the year they were too late with their upgrades. They should have been having upgrades early. They said we don't want to do it at Imola because we want to wait later. So there seems like there's administrative problems with the team. They're not doing the upgrades when they need to do. It seems like there's a disconnect between the owners and managers, and then the team, the rest of the team, Vasseur and Lewis, and those guys are together. But there's a disconnect. I don't know what he's trying to hint at, or is he trying to hint at that? Oh, he knows that Leclerc is their number one, and they only brought him in for money, and he's going to be replaced by Bierman. I think it might have something to do with Bierman. Bierman may come in 2027. Bierman is only out on loan, and Hamilton's in his 40s, and they spent so much money on Hamilton and on his when he came out with the black cape, Sir Gentleman, and all that, they spent a lot of money on it. And then I'm beginning to wonder if they just used him as a cash cow and they're not giving him what he needs, or they botched it by trying to change the car too much to help him. But something went wrong. And I think their main motivation for bringing Hamilton was to for PR. And maybe they want to phase him out. So I think he may know that. But other than that, it could be anything. We don't really know. We're stabbing in the dark here. What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny?
Well, let me put it this
It's,
way. Come with
it's a
me.
mystery. Yeah.
Come with me into the rabbit hole. Well, okay, let me put it this way. Okay, like this, on during practice, during the free practices, Hamilton was on fire. He was doing very well. That car was actually very good.
Mm-hmm.
Come to qualifying, the car went shit. Even
Yeah.
what's his name? Leclerc had to fight, and then somehow then the wind changed and something happened, and then he came forward. Okay, after qualifying, Hamilton, in the interview, he was like, "Yeah, it's me, right?" So
Yeah.
when I think about it, I think the car had a good setup, or had one kind of fast setup during training, during
Yeah.
practice. Then all of a sudden they changed the setup, and then he couldn't cope with it. So I think they must have argued about the setup in the team, and then for him, then he came out to like, okay, yeah, it's my fault. Yes,
He's
that's
been
what
talking that.
the argument that he was having from there, that yes, I didn't do well because it's me, but he was actually blaming the people in
No, but I think he actually meant him because here's why.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Juxtapose
yes,
that to
yes. That's one
juxtapose that
side.
to this guy's life first.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
trying to like that's one side though, like one side.
Yeah.
But I'm just analyzing because if you look at the end of the day, what's his name? Leclerc was complaining that why did you change the setup? Why did you change the setup? And we know there's a story about the setup and the downforce and then the paneling and
Yeah. We're gonna get to that.
and
Don't
some
worry. Yeah.
yeah. So like that. So but then again, it's also I can also look at it that Hamilton is really disappointed in himself, as in I'm really disappointed in
Yeah.
himself. But I think, but then when he was saying that there's stuff going on in the background, there's stuff, I don't know what that is. Maybe Hamilton's coming from Mercedes where they are very meticulous and stuff, and he's probably
Yeah.
noticing that these guys
He's
are
saying
not
they're
doing
unprofessional.
yeah, they're not doing what they're drinking. Maybe they're drinking, they're smelling of wine instead of smelling of grease and nuts and
Yeah.
bolts.
You know.
They're smelling of vino
Engine
and
oil.
tomatoes. Like that.
Yeah.
So it's just, but that's just like that's
I
it
think
could go wrong.
I hate to say this, but F1 is changing, and it started with this guy. I didn't realize this. This guy was a multimillionaire before he came to F1. Toto Wolff. He's a businessman, and ever since he's come to F1, it's almost like he's not only the boss of Mercedes. It's like he's the boss of the whole thing. That same weekend, they showed Vasseur enter his camp and come out, and they were smiling. It's like Toto Wolff is controlling this thing, and he brought in Liberty Media. So the point I'm making is maybe Ferrari, maybe they're just not spending on the car. I think that teams don't care about winning. Look at Mercedes; they didn't even do well this year, but they're laughing to the bank. So I think that maybe Ferrari, they're not bringing upgrades on time. There's some corruption in that thing where people are just trying to make profits. Look at what's that? The other team, Alpine with Briatore. They're just setting up the team to be sold. They're supposed to get rid of Bortoleto, but they're still keeping him. Do you see what I'm saying? So it seems to me that maybe the only team that's doing well because they have American money is McLaren. McLaren, we don't even know who their engineers are. They have like teams and teams of people. They bring in American money, Zach Brown, and we know America is now F1's biggest market. So maybe what he's saying is that there's a lot of ineptitude in Ferrari and corruption and things which it doesn't seem like they're committed to winning, which makes sense because that car, you need to spend a lot of money on research and wind tunnel. We know Ferrari has a good wind tunnel. So why can't they solve this issue? What's your thoughts, Kunle? Yeah.
Yeah, ever since the last few races that Hamilton has been on the circuits, even when
Yeah.
he was improving, his morale was still dropping. His head was still falling,
Yeah.
even when he was improving. And I think the problems at Ferrari are very much personal. I have been saying it throughout this season. And the car is a fast car. And these adjustments that they're having to make, I do feel that there's a lot of friction. I don't know whether the drivers are not being consulted or whether there's some heated arguments and that they're doing them against their will. But
Yeah.
something is going wrong really badly there, which Ferrari needs to work on because they do
Well,
have the makings of a far, they have
here's the problem. As soon as,
the
go
engine
ahead.
power unit is fantastic. They got an excellent power unit.
Yeah.
Lots of cars, that's their biggest problem. They just need to sort themselves out.
So here's the problem. You have Leclerc, who some people believe is the fastest man in F1 for one lap. Maybe not better than Verstappen overall. And then you come in with Lester Lewis with the Hamilton thing, with the cape. You get paid all of this money. Then you come into the team and you say, I have to bring my personal engineers. He brought in mechanics and engineers from Mercedes. That's an insult to the Ferrari engineers. And then on top of that, he on his first day with the engineer, have a cup of tea while you're at it. So maybe he rubbed those. The Italians are very, very proud people. He came in, talk, and then he told Vasseur, calm down, man. Don't come to my hotel and tell me to be respectful. So he might have come in with a little bit too, and then he said, "I'm a black man. You can't beat me." And remember, everybody was like, "He's going to destroy. He's going to destroy Leclerc." So maybe that rubbed the team the wrong way, especially with his engineer telling him have a cup of tea and say, "Oh, why aren't you talking to me?" I'm not dissing Hamilton his driving, but maybe he should have been coming quiet without all of the fanfare. And maybe, Leclerc is a nice guy, but maybe Leclerc in the background with his mechanic say, see this fool. He's coming here, everybody shout, we will show him. You understand what I'm saying? So he needs just because Leclerc doesn't say anything. Leclerc is a dirty driver. Did you see what he did yesterday to George Russell? He was basically doing illegal stuff to George Russell pushing. So Leclerc is passive aggressive. He won't tell you when he's going to beat you. Remember when he bumped Verstappen at high speed? So what I'm saying is that Lewis Hamilton may have made a lot of enemies in Ferrari with his grand coming in, bringing in his engineers, and then also saying, have a cup of tea. You guys need to improve. And then also coming in, writing letters to the staff saying, like last week before the race, he wrote a letter to all the big boys saying, this is what you have to do. And then also they said they were going to change the car for him, which I think was a big mistake because we know Lewis Hamilton is a fast driver, but he's not like a Schumacher or Sainz who can give good feedback to the people. Just give him the car. So maybe he came in and was just a little bit too heady, and the rest of the team didn't like that. What do you think, Falabi?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there was a lot of personality clash, and there
Yeah.
was an air of sheer arrogance in the way Hamilton joined the team. And Ferrari, the way it is, internal politics, it's a very, very egoistic kind of setup. So they wouldn't want to tolerate him bringing his mechanics. So that already played against him. And then if you look at modern F1 cars, especially
Oh,
on
sorry, yeah, mechanics, engineers, yeah, but whatever
yeah,
team, yeah,
yeah. If you look at modern F1 cars, especially under the ground effect rules, they behave differently from the Hamilton dominated era with
yeah,
Mercedes. So adapting to Ferrari's version of these dynamics may require more time. And the luxury of that time, he can't be afforded. Is expected to hit the ground running because of his pedigree and what is expected. A lot of money has been invested in this. High expectations, especially given his legacy, salary, and stuff. And then being compared consistently with Leclerc, who has consistently outpaced him as a younger teammate, it makes him uncomfortable. I think he's mentally fatigued and frustrated.
yeah,
Is a combination of all these things that
yeah.
makes his performance stall,
Yeah.
basically.
And we're not dissing Hamilton. Hamilton's a goat, but we have to remember it was Leclerc who made Vettel retire. So in other words, I'm not saying Leclerc is better than Hamilton, but when you're going against Leclerc, it's like Spain playing France in the finals of European Championship, and they don't take France seriously. You say, oh, yeah,
Seriously, yeah.
we will show France. That's how you'll get your ass
Of
whooped
course, it will be at their
3-0.
peril.
Yeah, because so he should have been treating Leclerc as an equal because he is an equal because Leclerc is younger. He beat Vettel before Vettel was in his late 20s when Leclerc was beating him. So for him to beat Vettel shows he's a high level driver. He beat
True.
Vettel when he was 18 years old. So I think they underestimated just how good Leclerc is. Leclerc is the only driver that Verstappen is scared of. You get my point? Even when Leclerc
Yeah,
bumped Verstappen didn't say anything. So I think he underestimated his teammate. And very quickly before we go to you, Johnny, Peter Windsor said it. He said that when Lewis Hamilton came to the team, Vasseur should have treated Hamilton as a mentor. But they said you can't do Hamilton as a mentor because he's the big boy. He said it doesn't matter about big boys. He should have been telling Hamilton like, okay, we've noticed that you're turning in a little bit. You're turning in too soon, and Verstappen, or this guy's turning in sooner than you are. The telemetry shows it. Leclerc is turning in sooner than you are, and you're not. So maybe you should work on that. Don't tell him, oh, don't do your fashion show. He can do his fashion show. Just say, okay, these are the telemetry, so these are the things we want to work. But he may be afraid to say that because maybe Hamilton will say, I'm a big boy, don't tell me. But if you're the supervisor of a team, you just have to tell people whether they like it or not. You just make sure you tell them in a nice way. What are your thoughts, Johnny? Yeah.
no, yeah. I just want to just support what you said about Leclerc, how good it is, because
Yeah, he's good.
the year Verstappen won the Grand Prix, yeah,
Yeah.
that year. The year after, Leclerc was on fire.
Yeah, it's
Ferrari
just
was
that they
on
got bad
fire.
pit stop.
It
The
was
team was
only
bad.
it was only due to mechanical failure that they lost it
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
Verstappen. So
Yep.
Leclerc was
Because they got
actually
a
good.
faster car,
Ferrari
and
was supposed to be, yeah,
at that point he was a better driver than Verstappen at that point. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
or just as good anyway. Yeah.
Mm.
So people need to realize Leclerc is quiet, but that guy is super talented. He makes a lot of errors. That's the difference between him and Hamilton and Verstappen. Hamilton and Verstappen don't make as many errors as Leclerc, but that guy is good. I remember you talking about this was the year after Verstappen won his first title, and we kept on saying, "Man, Ferrari's team is messed up. Leclerc will do well. Then they'll have a 10-second pit stop because they made a mistake." That's the only reason Ferrari lost to Red Bull that year. You're right, Johnny. What are your thoughts, Kunle? Yeah.
Yeah, Leclerc is very settled in the Ferrari,
Yeah.
and as much as he looks to be a very fast driver, and everyone is afraid of him, like I said, My only issue with him is his issues of not finishing races, although
Yeah.
he's into his own a bit better of late. But I mean, that's still my son. He's always got a DNF in him.
Yeah.
I do feel that with Hamilton, the thing is that, okay, we all look at it and say, yes, he should have come in with more humility. But I mean, you're a seven-time world champion coming into a team that, I mean, with all respect due to Ferrari, with their pedigree, haven't been winning as of late. And that team hasn't seen the success that Hamilton has seen. So when they are telling him to be humble, he will tell them, why do you want me with my seven-time titles to be humble? You, this no-time loser, want to come and start talking to me. And there might be a bit of that, or there might be a bit. I just feel that there's some toxicity inside that Ferrari team. And I don't think it's leveled directly solely at Hamilton. I think it's
No.
being leveled at both drivers. I think that just that Leclerc is managing it better
than
than
Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not only both just both drivers.
handle this Italian behavior, which I think he doesn't like it either. I've seen him clash with his teammates. I've seen them clash far more often with their teams than I have other drivers.
And it's not just that. This guy is under pressure too from the big boys. They're talking about they want to replace him with Christian Horner. There's too much pressure in that team, and you can't perform. Vasseur is worried about his job. Remember, he said we change everything. The only thing we don't change is the managers. It's like if we all start arguing because we have a boss who's giving us trouble. Like, I can't stand Kule can't stand me. Fuck it, but we can't stand the boss either because everybody's under pressure. That's not the environment that you need to win. That's one thing I have to give credit to McLaren. They're all polite. They're polite with each other, even when they mess up. Even when they mess up, if Norris crashes, Stella would say, the thunder in the sky blinded him, therefore he couldn't see. It's not his fault. McLaren will even lie to protect their drivers. Ferrari, even when you win, the Ferrari fans and the management will spit in your face. That is, even the Ferrari fans are toxic. That is a toxic situation.
Ferrari haven't won anything since the last time they won anything. It was Raikkonen.
Days of Schumacher.
Raikkonen.
Raikkonen
was the last time they won a world. And that was what? That's
2007 or so.
You see, so and they're supposed to be a winning team. They're supposed to be, Hamilton has probably found out
they beat Hamilton. He beat Hamilton and Alonso because they stole points from each other.
Yeah. I'm sure they have not even started working on the 2026 car. They haven't even opened the garage, chef.
Yeah.
It's still doesn't.
And that's the last point. I think they just brought Hamilton for marketing, and they didn't focus on their car. I'll leave it at that. What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny?
Yeah, about that, I'm very sure that they're not even ready for 2026. I'm very sure, and probably that's what Hamilton has probably even noticed that. Oh my God!
Here's my prediction: McLaren will do well in the next generation too. Even if they don't have, because they have the same engine that Mercedes has. They may not have the same power unit. But the thing about McLaren is that they are an engineering solutions team.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can imagine that too.
That's how well. It's like, for example, we know that Aston Martin will have the designer. Adrian Newey is the designer. That's the broad view. But McLaren doesn't use the design. What they do is they create a balanced car that can do well over any track. They don't worry about design, but they will still be challenged. So what you're going to see is Aston Martin versus McLaren, and maybe Mercedes. But Mercedes, I don't trust Toto Wolff. It's like Toto Wolff is just trying to make money. I don't think he cares about winning, man. I don't think he cares. He just got lucky that he had Hamilton and it was during the power phase of engines. What are your thoughts, Kunle? Then we'll go to Afolabi.
I think that there is this feeling that Mercedes seems to want to turn into the Tottenham Hotspur of Formula One. That's the most profitable football club in the Premier League. But look at where they are, and that's something that's happening to Mercedes. They had always, up until then, been ruthless and precise in their preparation, in their race technique and planning. And it seems as of late, they haven't lost their discipline, but they've lost their edge. And it's the drivers, it's the team. The team seems to have lost its edge in getting the car to right on the edge. I think they seem to be putting the car in a safe space where it'll complete the race, but it's not really taking it to a point where it can threaten. It'll just do enough to get by. It's content to do so because it's Mercedes, and Mercedes is a fast, reliable car, but we don't need to be number one. We just need to be cool. I mean, there's a bit of that about it. It seems to have lost that competitive edge. And it's actually very sad. And I think that that's what made Hamilton decide I've had enough of. Might have seen this coming, maybe, because I think that at the time he was there, Mercedes looked very calm and relaxed with him. They were surprised he was leaving. So I think he himself wanted to give himself a new challenge, and Mercedes was up to it.
And you know what I think? Now we know the value of Rosberg. Rosberg is not as fast as Hamilton, but they said that Rosberg is a genius, and I mean IQ like 180 when it comes to engineering. Rosberg and Schumacher built that car, and I think that when Rosberg left, that's when that car started declining because Rosberg was the one giving the team feedback, which is why you always need to have a Rosberg, Hamilton, or Leclerc, Sainz. Rosberg was like the Sainz, but even better than Sainz. They said that Rosberg scored higher on the engineering test than the Mercedes engineering people. Rosberg's dad is a F1 champion from before. So I think losing Rosberg and Schumacher too, those were the people that got disciplined because Rosberg was the one that he even made sure that he didn't live with his wife or sleep with his wife for 6 months to beat Hamilton. I think they've lost that rigor. Before we go to Hamilton, what do you think? What do you think, Mr. Johnny? That's just a theory of mine, but I think that's one of the things that they lost. Or having someone like him, or even Bottas. They need guys like that do the details for them. What do you think, Mr. Johnny? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what happened to Mercedes, man. Something just happened. I hear what you're saying. What's it about Rosberg? I'm just watching. I don't know what to do. Mercedes have just disappointed me really, really, really bad.
Well, I think, and here's the thing: when they were winning with Hamilton, they got lazy with Hamilton and Rosberg. They weren't spending money on wind tunnel. That's why remember when they had that purposing problem for 3 years.
Yeah, the purposing
they still haven't recovered from that. They haven't recovered because that put them back by years. They didn't spend money on wind tunnel and things like that when the changes came, and that's why I have to say, Toto Wolff drove, but he left F1 after doing rally, and then he spent years making millions in business. He's a good investor, so he's treating the team, and he's also treating F1 as a business. As long as he's making money, like Kunle said, Tottenham, as long as he's making money, he's happy. It's like Toto Wolff is the boss of all F1. You even see Verstappen coming into his yacht. You get my point. But I don't understand why, because Toto Wolff is the marketing genius. They did a study on Toto Wolff. I don't want to say he was an orphan, but I think his dad wasted all of the family's money and he was poor. So I read his biography. He said that his dad was profligate and that he told himself that he would never be like that. So I think he's obsessed with money and with doing well. I'm not dissing him, but I think he's doing that to overcome the fact that he was poor and he suffered when he was younger. You get my point? So I think Toto Wolff has this complex, and he's very good with money. When he wasn't doing well as a racer, he became a businessman and made money. And as soon as he jumped into Mercedes, he's 1/3 owner. So he has what Horner wants. He wants to be. It's not just winning races. I think he wants to be the boss. And his wife remember last year, his wife is the head of the youth academy for F1. So it's like both
his wife was one of the engineers for years. One of the pit engineers as well.
And they were saying that his wife was giving him information. Remember last year, the scandal? His wife was giving him information about the other team because she handles it. The two of those guys are very smart. Very smart. What do you think of Falabi?
Yeah, I agree with you. And you don't seem to know what trajectory Mercedes is going because they seem to be all at sea. But what really intrigues me about this Ferrari team is that why would you give Fred Vasseur a contract extension at this time of the season? Ferrari is struggling. What's the justification? And many of the people in Ferrari feel he's close to Hamilton, but I'm not convinced he can fix the deeper problems in Ferrari.
Yeah, but I don't think they should get rid of him because I think that he's not the problem. And we have to remember his contract.
I'm not saying they should get rid of him, but why would they give him an extension to his contract at this time of the season?
No, but I think his contract was going to expire this year. I think it was going to expire. But you're right. But to be honest with you, from what I can see, the way F1 works now, it's better to bring in someone like because we know Vasseur is an engineer, but you need to bring in businessmen like Horner and co. So I think what they need to do is make Vasseur the technical director and bring in a
proper engineer.
Yeah, because team principal should be a businessman like Horner. What are your thoughts, Kunle, about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that Ferrari would be begging for someone like Horner to come in just to give them a different perspective and a different direction. Because even if it's not necessarily Vassar's fault, whatever it is at Ferrari, it's not working. And I think that the personality of Horner is such that it would transcend beyond just the position that he's in into the whole team.
He's very
different
nice.
And
Horner is a gladiator. He will go toe to toe with the Ferrari.
And also I do believe, I think that Hamilton would have a natural affinity to get on more with him because Horner would also be just as likely to clash with the Italian. So Hamilton would feel that he at least has an ally in
Horner
to back him up.
For him to align with Horner.
Your joke with Hamilton. He said, Hamilton, remember when we beat you by cheating? Don't worry, bloke, we'll be okay. And he'll say, okay, and then you know what Horner would say? Remember when you gave Verstappen Verstappen had an accident, he was in the hospital with a migraine, and Toto Wolff didn't even call to say sorry. Fuck Wolff, you're good, Hamilton. He'll do something like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it would be good for them. Yes,
that would be a good combination, Hamilton and Wolff. This shit is getting crazy in F1, man. All right, good show. So, any last thoughts, Mr. Johnny, before we go to our follow-up? You can take us out.
Yeah, man. I've just learned something in life now. So it's not good to curse your enemy. I mean, well, at least not good to it's not good to just watch what you say, shout to other people because you don't know tomorrow. Because when Ferrari was the greatest enemy of Mercedes, I used to pray that the engineers used to pour wine into the petrol tank or mess up and everything. Yes, and it worked. And now my guy is driving for Ferrari now. All those courses that I've given Ferrari is still there in Ferrari, and it is affecting my guy Hamilton. So
that's crazy.
Next time I'll not watch what I say.
And even Jenson Button said that the reason he beat Hamilton one year was because Hamilton turned off the mechanics. Jenson Button said that he was smart. He would buy the mechanics and everybody drinks and be friendly to them because he knew that he wasn't faster than Hamilton, so he needed to take every advantage. So I think Hamilton needs to learn that you have to be strategic, make it about them. Oh yeah, you guys are good. Leclerc is the man. I'm scared. Do that rather than I'm gonna come in and win. All right. Look at it on Verstappen. Have you noticed that Verstappen never talks bad about his teammates? He was like, it's not Yuki's fault, it's the car. Maybe in the back, him and his dad are laughing at Yuki. Yuki is rubbish. But when he comes to the camera, it's not Yuki's fault. We should keep Yuki. And
that's
then in
like
the back,
Ferguson.
They'll tell Helmut Marco later, get rid of that boy. So in other words, Hamilton and Norris, both of them, they're like open books. They need to change that. Take us out, Afolabi here.
Yeah, it's been another brilliant Formula One show. We have been discussing the many problems that are at the Ferrari team, the pressure on Hamilton from Leclerc, and the internal politics within the Ferrari hierarchy. And from Mr. Johnny, Kunle Williams, Mustafa, and myself, we'll be back again next time.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're doing that football one. Which one is it again?
Barcelona.
Oh, Barcelona, yeah. So we'll do something.
Barcelona. He's from Barcelona.
And we'll do an F1 earlier tomorrow. Yeah, thank you guys. Nice show. Nice flow.
All right, cool.